Fuck.
That one didn't hit as good.
What, you didn't like that one?
No, I like you. Everything about you I love.
I like you.
I like I like you. Dude, do you ever think like, yo, we just fucking rule?
Yeah. Too much sometimes.
Too much. Not enough for people to watch my clips though.
Is it recording?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
miss
recording. No. How you doing today, buddy?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Overthinking everything. Waiting for the end. Just having a good vibe.
Good thing you got more coffee.
What?
It's a good thing you got more coffee.
Yeah. I try to make myself on edge as most humanly possible as I can.
You're fucking nailing it, bro.
Yeah, dude, I'm fucking teetering. No, I actually had great news this morning. No, it's been weird. I've been like enjoying the fuck out of streaming, but like, you know that like dark pit of despair that forms in your soul when you finish the show?
Yeah.
And you just don't think anything will ever fill that void?
Yeah.
I've been having so much fun streaming. The second I stop, I've been getting wildly depressed. So thank you.
Watching me anymore.
Dude, honestly, maybe. I don't know. You said it the best in the clip. Andy in the pit is the biggest sign he needs therapy. And honestly, I'm getting really tired of fucking just thugging it out. But no,
you.
I did have great news this morning. We've told the story. I got punched in the face at the Kubla Khan show.
Yeah.
It was during Tsunami set. And so I got the hospital bill, it was like $1,000 or $2,000, however the fuck. And I got a whole payment plan now because I got hit in the face and they gave me medical glue. Because that's, you sit there for 3 hours. They go, your skull's not fractured.
Yeah.
Here's some medical glue. That'll be, so much fucking money. That'll be a whole paycheck. And I was supposed to pay my monthly installment like yesterday. And I go, oh shit. And then I get a call. And it was like an automated message. It was from the hospital. And I was like, the fuck's that about? I was like, let me just go fucking pay it. I go pay it. It says, you have to pay. There's still like $1,000 left on it. They're like, you have to pay the whole thing right now. And I go, I better not. Because I got to be honest, if I got to pay all of it right now,
That's not going to happen.
we're going back to Pennsylvania. We're done here. We're done in Texas, dude. That's fine. I gave it a go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go work at a warehouse.
Yeah,
I don't give a
it's
shit.
over.
Get me back on the forklift. It's done.
Dream's done.
I don't give a fuck about being creative anymore. I don't care. No, so I call him up and I call the lady up and I go, hey, so normally I have to pay $100 a month. This is telling me I have to pay $1,300. And she's like, well, that shouldn't be. And I go, what?
I agree.
And I go,
Yeah.
I also agree.
That's what I was just saying.
Daddy,
Yeah.
Has anyone tell you how smart you sound?
That's really good.
You also sound pretty attractive.
Wow. You're so smart
Wow.
and attractive.
You're so good at saying the exact right thing. And she's like, so I had it set to a payment plan. And I told you how they did the payment plan originally. And they were like, oh, do you want to break it up? You could do like 3 payments and it'll be $900 each. I go, nah.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, well, we could do 6 and then it'll be a little, and I go,
Can we do like one a month?
and then they'll be
$1 a month?
And then they were just like, what do you want to do? And I was like,
0.
0? Maybe you guys got it. Do you have it?
What about we just get the next one? You get this one, I'll get the next one.
So I fucking call her up. And she's like, I was like, yeah, I had the payment plan set up. She's like, yeah, it's like not there anymore. And I go, this is starting to all make sense.
Put it back. Yeah. Why am I having to do this with you?
Why is this
Yeah.
happening?
Put it back.
Can you put it back?
Bro, I've had that.
And that's what happened. She goes, and it actually ended up great because I thought I was going to have to pay $1,300 today. And
Yeah.
she's like, that's weird. Let's give you a new payment plan.
Yeah.
She's like, what was it? 100? Like, we didn't even clarify.
It was 0 before.
It was actually, yeah, it was, this is this isn't health welfare. You should be paying me.
Yeah, this is you're not doing this right.
Yeah, and she's like, you know what? I reset it for you. It's at 100. And you know what? She's like, you don't got to pay for another month. And I'm like, all this is just made up.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you right now,
it's all made up.
This is the thing that really I had it wasn't show related or like as far as like medical bills or anything, but it was Verizon. I was fucking arguing with.
Where they put the lady on your line?
No, that was fucking Progressive.
Oh,
but I did a thing where I was like I usually have the automatic payment come out of our card, and at the time that it was going to. Like it lets you know, hey, we're gonna take the payment in a couple days, or whatever. And I go, oh shit, I don't think I have enough on that card. I'm gonna have to do like a payment arrangement or whatever, like move it to another date. So I switched it to the 10th, and I was like, I got a reminder, hey, don't forget you had a payment arrangement today. And the thing that really chaps my fucking ass about this one, about any time I'm like the automatic payment doesn't automatically go through or something like that the first time, or you're a day or so like late, or let's say you were late last month, so like this month coming up, Capital One likes to remind me, hey, your auto payment's due coming up in a couple days. And it's like, I know, thank you. I've made all the other ones on time. And anytime it's like this thing where they're like, hey, to avoid service interruption, hey man, I've done this every fucking month.
Yeah,
I made the arrangement. Don't continue to warn me of like, if you don't make that payment arrangement today, I made the payment arrangement. I told you when I was going to pay. And they're like, oh, if you don't pay it today, we're going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Or we're going to turn your shit off.
Yeah, we're going to fucking
watch it, or we're going to charge you. You're either going to stop service, or you're going to charge me late fees, or both. And it's like, how do you do that? So I go to make the payment, and it's like, oh, it's your card's declined. But every time my card does get declined, I get an email and a notification.
You just call them back. You're like, brother, because there's no money. Idiot.
Yeah. No, that's my brother. But no,
is my card declined? Well, I don't have money.
I have more than enough money on it. The card's fine, and also I'm not getting any kind of notification from the card. So I call Verizon, which that's the thing, is now I'm having to work to pay you money. Like, don't make this so hard, because that's the thing. I've gotten told.
That's such a good point.
I've gotten told things from Texas. They say, here's 3 ways to pay, and one of them's online. I go to pay online, and it's like saying, oh, there's something. This is my favorite. Something went wrong.
What?
Okay.
What?
And then I try 3 more times, and I go, okay, then you don't want my money. Bye.
Yeah.
And then I get another notification the next month, and I am going to try to pay it again. And if they don't take the money, I'm not going to beg you to take my money. I'm trying to pay you money. So Verizon, now I'm on hold with this fucking dickhead company. And if you're coming down to me calling you when I was trying to do something online, I'm not going to be pleasant on the phone. I may not always be an absolute dickhead to you, but I'm not going to work any extra to be nice. So I call Verizon, and it's an automated thing. It's like, please just tell us about what's going on. And I go, representative. And it goes, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. And I go, representative. And then I just go, representative. I just keep saying it over and over again. Because eventually, or if you just smash the star or just any button, just keep smashing it over and over again. Eventually they'll go, oh, something's going on. We're going to connect you to one of our live agents.
No, I was doing that with one of the fucking delivery apps I've been using, because there will be like a problem where you'll show up and like they already got the order, or like I showed up to a Dollar General one time and I was like, this Dollar General doesn't exist.
And now
and so you log on and you just go, they'll be like, is the problem any of these? And you just keep hitting other. Give me a human being.
Yeah, stop making me go through these steps, because from my experience, every single time you put in your information, you tell them what's going on, you do all this thing, and they go, we're going to connect you to the right agent. And they send you there and they go, what's your number? What's your information? And what's going on today? And I go, I just fucking did that. I just fucking told you everything that was going on, and now you sent me here to the correct representative who's going to ask me what's going on.
Well, because all those options on the telephone line are set up for people who don't have computers. But the thing is, everyone has a fucking smartphone. There's homeless people with smartphones, so it's like I always laugh when you call your bank and they're like, "Would you like to know your balance?" You're like, "Dog, I can look it up on the app that you have."
So I finally get a hold of somebody, and she goes,
"But you're right. Every time it's like I need a person."
She's giving your can I have your account information? I said, no. I said, I want to make an online payment. I made a payment arrangement today.
Yeah.
Your online payment thing for Verizon is not working. Can you please just take my payment? And she goes, oh well, and it's always that. Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, just do it. So we get to the thing where she's sending over a link. I put in the process the payment, all this other shit. Yeah. It's still not working. But she says our online payment thing is down. I can take your payment. There's a $10 charge. I said, nope. I said, I'm not going to do it. You just told me your online thing is down. So you are not allowing me to pay. So I'm not going to pay you more money.
It costs $10 to pay over the phone?
Right. And she said, oh, let's try this. And all this other shit. She's like, well, have you tried calling the credit card company? I said, it's not the credit card. It's you guys. You just told me your payment system's down.
Yeah.
So what is the other option I have to pay? And all the options were not working. And I go, it's not the fucking credit card. I finally just hang up on her. She tries to call me back a couple times. And I'm like, because she ended up, I said, she's like, do you want to call the credit card company? I said, it's not the credit card. And she's like, I said, do you want to call them? I said, how about you call them? So she just called them on the other line and then tried to connect us. And I was like, at this point now, I'm working for Verizon. I work for Verizon because we're trying to figure out this problem together. So I just hung up on all of them. I called Capital One, and they're like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with your card. And I said, I know. So I just didn't pay them. I just didn't pay them that.
This is recent?
Yeah. Just that, that's why I'm so fucking you could probably ask me 2 months from now. It's because that stupid bitch Shanice at Progressive, the one that they added to my account, that fucking idiot. There's so many things where the issue is chat with a representative. I know it's AI. Shut the fuck up. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
You never ever help. So stop saying that you have options, or you can do it this way. You can do it this way, or what happened to your payment? I've asked that so many times to Progressive. Why was Shanice added to my account?
Yeah.
And nobody had an answer that they would give me of why or how this could just happen, and why did it happen to my account?
Dude, you know what's crazy? When I would do Instacart, if I needed to, because I would do the same thing, because whenever you message them, it takes them for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And they got the little timer on the fucking app, so it's like, okay, I gotta move. So I would just call them every single time something fucked up would happen. And you can hear. This was the craziest thing I realized after the second or third time I had to physically call them. You can hear the way that they're responding to you is they're responding, reading off prompts.
Yeah.
And to the point of just they'll be like, hey there, Andrew, how are you doing today? I'll be like, oh, I'm doing good. I just need a little help with this. They'll be like, it's great to hear that you're doing good. I would love to help you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you a real person or not?
Yeah,
and you and it's the shit with AI. I don't know. I'm always the way that they're implementing all this AI shit, because I know that's what they're doing. Or not even AI, it's still probably the mechanics of it, where it's they're getting prompts of dude, it's crazy. They're literally turning people into fucking vessels now.
Yeah.
The way that and it kind of probably affects your situation where you're trying to be why is Shanice on the thing?
Right. Yeah. Where I'm just saying, why did this happen? Who made this decision? Those kind of things. There's no accountability.
And they're just this isn't in my protocol.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it's so robotic now that it's the thing where you don't even have, there's no more, customer service in general has gone downhill just since the pandemic for sure.
Yeah.
Just because we've fucking worked all of those people to the absolute bone, paid them a somewhat living wage after the fact, but then also inflation and everything went up crazy to where that's not a livable wage anymore. So it's everything is back to where it was before, that technically $16 or $17 is the minimum wage now. And that's just basically,
it's lower in a lot of places.
It's crazy. But even still, like it's so that nobody's invested. So even people that are working remote, there's no real incentive for them to find out there's no personal investment.
I'll say this about the remote workers, or you mean like foreign workers who are doing the phones.
Well, like
they probably have more of an investment, because if they're making what if they're making what an American telemarketer's making, or even if they're making a little less, they're probably doing pretty damn good. I think the problem is they are locked into this is just my guess, but I feel like they're locked into a very specific regiment of, these are the things you can say, this is how you can be on this phone call.
Because it's always like this.
Like they're probably
I'm really sorry. Oh, you're that's a good point. Or that's a thing where you're just like, I'm not trying to be conversational with you. Stop doing that. I need you to be almost a little bit.
Because they're probably just following prompts.
Right. Yeah. And it's the thing where you're like, there's always like a half second. And it's not just necessarily that I think it's going overseas or anything. I'm just in general, you're just talking to, again, some person who's like in like another country or something like that. Or just literally some lady in her house that's like, I don't know. Like, I chose this job because it's easier to take care of my kids or whatever. Like, there's no way for you, like, especially with the meal delivery shit, for anybody to ever be like, that person is held accountable. The company will just kind of go, oh, we'll take the damage and then we'll handle it however we do. If it's not assault, then that person will just continue to work for them. And we'll just take the hit. Whereas I need the person who did the shitty job to take the hit so that the job gets better, so the service gets better. But that's what it is. The line of command is never there. Yeah. So the same idea with that, where they're just like, oh, that's weird. You happen to be talking to one of the nicest ladies that's just like, that's crazy. Why'd that happen? You're like, I don't want that with my finances. I don't want that. I don't I don't want that with my healthcare professional. I don't want that with my pilot. Anytime I'm on a plane, I don't want a pilot going, never seen that before. I don't want that. And so I especially don't want that with my payment arrangement. There's a thing where, like, my credit card is in good standing and has more than enough money. I have the arrangement with you with that card on file. What's happening? And they go, oh, so are you going to turn my phone off? Because, like, that's the thing where, like, you've been sending me all these warning messages about pay your bill. And I go to pay the bill, and they're like, damnedest thing. Well, I guess you're fucked. You can't pay your bill. Like, that's their thing. And where they go, like, hey, don't worry. We'll give you a grace period. I'm like, thank you so much because of your fuck up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So the overall, I think that little weird thing. Yeah, and not even saying like, oh yeah, I see that here. That doesn't make me feel better. I see the notes here that says that you're supposed to have that payment plan, but it's not in place.
I think that's like I think what you're talking about is a big element of everything being downstream of like how there's like everything's run by like a corporation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I was noticing that too about just like workers in general, where it's like you don't, because everything. It's like we were talking about before, how people are like when riots will happen and people are like, oh, you give a fuck about a Target getting robbed. Like they have insurance, they have the money and shit. And you're like, yeah, no, I know that. I'm just saying there's another element where it's like there's real human beings at the fucking Target. So if you like lose these businesses, because especially after COVID, all these businesses have gotten like fucking, they either went out of business or whatever, or all these like smaller business went out of business. I've noticed that more with like the more bigger businesses and bigger corporations taking over. There is a huge disconnect between like the processes implement and the actual workers, and like the worker, like especially too when you're like a part of a gigantic bank or like a gigantic cell phone company, they put these procedures in, and then you have these workers who are like, I'm just doing a job to make money.
Right.
And then they're not correlating that to you as the consumer of how things actually work. Yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like it's very, to me, it's almost also the same vein as our Animal Attack
series on No More Heroes,
where there's oftentimes there's just we just assume that there's somebody that's like taking care of all of this. Like the same thing even at shows where we're like, when somebody gets paralyzed and they're like, oh, we're like, we just don't get paralyzed a lot.
Yeah,
like we're not doing things that are not promoting paralyzation.
That's such a good fucking
paralysis.
Point.
You know what I mean? Like
that's such a good fucking point because like the state, there's actually a correlation between animal attacks and stage diving, where like people will like whenever I see those stories where people do get like paralyzed or severely hurt from stage diving, you sit there and you go, it's actually insane. This doesn't happen way more often that people are like breaking their fucking neck stage diving. Because like, dude, you remember when we went to go see Speed? Everyone's jumping around. Like, dude, it's like the floor is like cement.
Yeah.
It's not just like a fucking wood floor. It's like cement. And there were dudes that were taking fucking headers where it was like, you know, there's so many videos you see of people stage diving where it's not even like, oh, you know, like you fall to the floor like it's a fucking Plinko board. It's like, no one caught you. You fucking Jeff Hardy'd into the floor.
And that's why I was saying like it's not a freak accident. It's just an accident that has been luckily avoided for so many different times over and over and over and over again. Yeah. And it's the same idea with any kind of customer. You just set up these payment arrangements and you do all these things, or you have this other stuff, and then you just do it, and either something changes and there's no fucking there's no other thing, at least with there's no like other feeling aside from just like aside from like shows. If something happens, they're just like, man, that's great. We at least acknowledge, I think, because we're of who we are, at least to say like, yeah, it's surprising that doesn't happen more. But also, how lucky have we been? Also, we're not going to stop doing it.
You know what's funny?
Because we've accepted the risk going into it.
Yeah.
With all of these other situations, when you send me an envelope that says, here are 3 options for you to give us money, and I tried 2 different ones, and both of them are like, huh.
Well, you know what
like,
it is?
I don't believe you anymore. If you told us we were for sure not going to get our necks broken at State Theater or at any other venues that we would go to as kids, and then we ended up doing it, it is our own naivety that is to blame. But if you're still lying, you know?
Go back to the fucking, because I'm trying to like, it was funny. I was like, I was actually getting worried because I was like, oh, we're just bitching about bills. And now I'm like, oh, wait, there's actually like a bigger fucking thought process. Because it's like,
nobody has our best interest in mind.
No, it's not even, it's what I'm like, yes. Well, but here's the thing though with business. If like you can figure out a hole in the market, if you can figure out a hole in the market, it doesn't matter because everyone wants their businesses to like be nice and to be thoughtful and like think about what I want. It's like, no, if you find a hole in the market and you just fill that hole with a good service,
like cum.
You're like, is there no cum in that hole?
Yeah. I see.
But no, if you find if a business like finds a hole in the market and they fill that hole with a good or service that people need, it will inherently create like a good product. I'm like thinking about with these disconnected big businesses and shit like that, where it's like it goes. I think we talked about it before, where it goes back to this structure where, because like all that like credit card shit, dude, like the way you'll just get approved for credit card, like, dude, I'm applying for fucking credit cards so I can do balance transfers. I haven't had a real fucking job in almost a year and shit. Yeah. And I'm just putting numbers on the paper to get the fucking credit card. Yeah. And it's like, they're not checking. It's like the way that it's a very like vaguely, like, don't get me wrong. There is a benefit to be like, you know, if you only get so much money a fucking month, there's a benefit to having a credit card. It's very, but it's like, it's all so fucking predatory. And then you mix that with, it's like these giant businesses and them setting up their structures. It goes back to the fucking AI thing. It's like, it's just turning human beings things into empty vessels.
Yeah.
So the reason that lady, and this is bringing it back to the original point, the reason that lady goes, is because she's probably a nice lady. Like, one-on-one, we're going out to a bar. She's probably nice. She might let me tag her up in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a cool on the phone. But no, she don't know anything about her, like, the thing. Like, she doesn't know anything about the credit card. I mean, she might learn it. Right. She might learn it over time, but her job's not to know anything about the credit cards. Her job is to hear what you say and then look at the next prompts and then go, this is now what we do. Yeah. That's why you're getting, because she doesn't know anything.
Right.
And I'm not shitting on her for that. I'm just saying it's the structure, because every fucking job, I remember I first realized it the first time I worked for a chain restaurant, is you go, when you're making food for a chain restaurant, they have these like drawings in the back, or like graphics in the back that just like tell you how to like make the thing. So as long as you get a moderate like week's worth of training, they can put anyone in that job. And that's why you have a workforce that wants to fucking kill themselves. Every fucking job is just a plug and play job. It does not matter who is fucking there.
Right.
And then on top of that, you're working for a big faceless corporation that if you go, honestly, if someone came in with a gun and stole all the money, I'd probably give them a bag of chips on the way out. You know, I don't care about this place.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think in general, the overall, like, people don't always consider the real, like, really actually what's going on, or what really the possibilities are. And I think something like that, where you're just like, to me, it's more concerning to say like, oopsie daisy, there was a glitch, because yes, maybe in this case they're like, oh yeah, there's the payment's not there, payment plan's not there, but you know, we'll go ahead and put it back in or do something else. That to me is like the thing where, like, I think about that, unfortunately now, because of my experiences with like customer service shit, or seeing just accidents at shows or any of that other stuff, is like the risks I'm willing to take now are way more minimalized, or in perspective now. So if I get my neck broken at a show, I absolutely know what is at stake if I go to a show.
Yeah.
Like if I go to a show and like like an outdoor show and somebody runs a car through the fucking thing, like, you know, that's a possibility. You have to understand that that's a possibility. It's not about letting it control your life. Yeah. It's knowing that the fact that if you go to these public events, there's a bunch of other strangers there, and it is the responsibility of the venue to keep you safe compared to what the venue is doing. But if the venues, you know what I mean, saying like,
well, no, dude, it goes back to,
it's like, whose responsibility does it really come down to in the situations where they're sending you this thing saying your payment plan's gone? Like, that's why, dude, I become so fucking paranoid with every situation where it's like, I assume the worst in every scenario. At least at some point, you have some kind of intrusive thought of like, yeah, but what if I send this payment through the mail? I don't trust the fucking mail anymore. The mail, anywhere I've gone, and it's not necessarily.
They sent anthrax through the mail one time,
bro. Multiple times they've done it. Like bombs.
It's a really good Netflix doc, by the way.
What
they've got like a 3-parter, which we've talked about before. 3-parter, The Best Amount. They've got, unless it's that new OJ one, that's a 4-parter and that ripped. But no, there's a 3-parter about the anthrax scare.
Yeah, like stuff like that. So if you have these other, don't offer it to me. That's my thing. Is don't offer me no venue, and I think that's what it comes down to, is there was also I don't think there was any, going back to our trainer connection, the trainer talk, or the whales or anything like that, or any animal attacks, where it's like this thing of like, yeah, also nobody ever told you the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Yes, they didn't explain to you, they weren't saying they never said you were never going to get attacked by a whale.
Yeah.
They just never told you that they never also told you that you would.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't tell you either one, if they just go like, you can become a trainer, you can pay your bill, you can do this, like, you can come to the show, they're not going to tell you the worst things that are going to happen to you or could happen to you.
I'm sorry, by the way, I'm being incredibly autistic and staring down the whole time. I'm having a lovely time listening to every word you're saying.
Great. But yeah.
Sorry, I just realized I've been crazy autistic this whole time.
It's all right, brother. Yeah. No, I just think in general, like just because all of the aspects weren't explained to you, doesn't mean that you're going to actually have it's not always going to be the best case scenario. But if you're giving me the best case scenario, saying it's just this easy, set up this plan, just do this, do that, correlating, and then you fuck it up. Don't explain it to me as an easy thing if it's so wrong.
Correlating that how you did to crowd surfing and stuff is kind of a really interesting conversation to have about crowd surfing, because there's a lot of times where, and this might be a touchy subject, what I'm about to get into, but obviously when a lady crowd surfs, if you're taking advantage of that, looking for a honk, you're a dastardly fella.
Yeah.
You're a dastardly fella.
It's not about that.
There is, though.
But not everybody can grab the lower back or her shoulders or you know what I mean? There's not a bunch of safe zones.
I guess what I'm trying to
say. Safe zones to touch.
I guess what I'm trying to say to everyone involved in crowd surfing, it's a pretty bold attitude to get into to then have an attitude about if it didn't go well.
Yes.
Because you're literally, you're running and you're giving people 2 seconds at most to make sure you don't die.
You're asking them to pay attention to what you're doing when everybody came to pay to watch the band perform. But now you're distracting me from that performance for my life.
Dude, I'll
make sure you don't land on me.
I can't speak for anyone else. I'll just speak for my own damn self. If I'm crowd surfing, which if you catch me, hey man, I hope you have great at that strongman competition.
Yeah.
I hope you do great at it.
Godspeed.
Yeah, Godspeed. But if you catch me while I'm crowd surfing and make sure I don't fucking die or get paralyzed,
right.
I mean, if you do a quick grab,
yeah.
I'm not gonna get mad.
If you want to hunk my bits, have at it.
Now, I'm a lot bigger than the average lady, and I in no way would say anyone's owed or encouraged to honk out of school.
No.
But at the same time,
that's your personal belief on your body.
On my body. If you caught me, molest me, brother.
You own me.
You for the time you're carrying me above your head, I am your sex slave.
I want you to run your hands all over my body.
I want you to fucking be like John Mayer and show me that my body is a wonderland.
I'd prefer if we could get into some kind of dirty dancing routine or something like that. Maybe you could pick me up, have the time of my life. But,
I realized that was thing. Yeah, no, I think I put it in. I think I realized the best way to put it is to have an attitude post crowd surf is hilarious to me.
Right. Because it's not being explained that this is going to be the greatest night of your life. You're just assuming it's going to be. You're putting your assumptions on everyone else. And that's the thing that's the difference between this and when you tell me this is how easy it is. You can just set up a plan. We'll let you pick the number. And then they're just like, no, it doesn't work for us. You're like, don't offer it then. Don't offer that to me because I am good at accepting my own fate once I know it's in my own hands. Or if I were to put it out of my hands, I know that I'm not going to be the safest I could possibly be. Let's just say that. Again, whether it be groping or otherwise.
Sorry, I want to do a quick, I agree with you 100%. I just wanted to do a quick right turn because I think you'd get a kick out of it. I was, someone posted some random video online where it was just, someone was playing guitar in it. And they were not focusing on what the guitar was playing, and I just remember being like, "Why is he playing Sweet Dreams?" But it was some other crazy shit happens, and I was like, "That's the name of the song, right?" Because I was gonna tweet it out, and I look up, I type in "Sweet Dreams," and I see Weezer did a cover of it, and I just instinctually, without even thinking about it, I go, "Of course they did."
Yeah, of course they did.
Because that's so wacky that Weezer would cover "Sweet Dreams." We have a big Weezer vendetta on this show. If you're a new listener,
because you know what it sounds like. I guarantee I know what it sounds like. The original. That's how they do covers.
But what if the original was played on slightly distorted guitars?
Ooh, by guys in glasses? Yeah. I didn't even thought of that.
And those guys are quirky, and they try to distract you from the fact that they're all millionaires.
Yeah. Very, very rich. Very rich.
Yeah.
Very rich.
Dude, I've been getting
more popular than 311.
Can I say this, though? Because I've been getting in. Have you ever heard of Trap Lord Ross? Mm-mm. if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of obscure teenage rappers that like to shoot each other a bunch, there's this guy online. He's from England. He looks like Where's Waldo, and his name is Trap Lord Ross. And he does very extensive research on these people.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, and fuck, what was the bigger point I was trying to make? I was watching Trap Lord Ross. I was watching a bunch of his shit. And fuck. Why did I bring that up? We were talking about rap. Oh, yeah. When I made the joke about Weezer.
Oh, yeah.
We in rap, for the safety of the youth out there and all that in general, we need to make a space for rappers that grew up okay.
Yeah.
Because it's really, dude, there's so...
I thought that was everybody now.
What?
Like, I thought that was all the rappers nowadays. Like,
no, I was listening to this drill. It was this like UK drill rapper, and the whole documentary is like, did he sell drugs or not when he was a kid? And like, did he come up from a good background or not? And it was just like, is this whole thing, because it's very similar to the way women like fetishize. They call it like murder porn. I think a lot of rap fans are like they're fetishize. It's like trauma porn to them.
Yeah.
Where they were like, because like I listened to, and I was doing it myself too. I'm listening to these guys' documentary, and it's like, he'll make these like 3-4 hour docs, and I'm like an hour into it, and he's like, so now he's like, so he's like, so now Diddy Lickety Split, he's starting 7th grade. And I go, wait, we haven't gotten to middle school yet? And it's just like all this like ins and outs of like all this stuff, and people are like, and people's takeaway is like, yes, this guy's better because he is an authentic rapper talking about the struggle. And I go, I mean, hey man, why are 12-year-olds shooting each other?
Yeah.
Like, can that be the bigger conversation of like, I was like, I didn't know there were so many areas in this country where 12-year-olds shot each other.
Yeah.
That's actually more concerning to me. So it's like, for the safety of the youth getting into rap, you guys don't have to be that authentic for me, at least. For Andy, just make the tunes good.
Yeah.
You don't have to be authentic. I'm scared for your safety.
Well, it almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because like I think there's like plenty of places that people, like, to me, it is the craziest thing to say. Like, if you're in a crazy, traumatic environment like that, like where, like, let's say it is that chaotic, truly.
Yeah.
And you still stay in that. It's the same thing as like people avoiding the doctor because they're scared that they'll tell them they're sick.
Yeah.
It's like this weird thing where you're like, you don't have to, if you don't have the street cred, seek the street cred.
It's
like,
it's psychotic behavior.
But also there's lots of people, like I even know personally, that grow up in like pretty tame bullshit areas that like think that's like a rough beginning, or that they're more street than somebody else or something. And you're like, that's crazy to think that if you are proud of where you were born and or grew up, and especially even more prouder because of how tough it was, you're fucking stupid. You didn't have anything to do with that. You were, if you're proud of your race or your hometown, you had nothing. There is nothing to be proud of.
I mean, if anyone's gonna be proud of it, if your neighborhood was rough when you grew up, you should go thank the CIA. They probably did it.
yeah. This was great. Yeah, if it's like a test of strength where you're like,
I'm so proud all those drugs got funneled into here,
bro. It's just like one of those things of like, oh, I'm from a really dangerous part of town, and then I stayed here my whole life. Like, well, then you're just really stupid.
Now, if
that's like a thing of like you are acknowledging how tough it is to live here, and how many people you know that died growing up.
Yeah,
staying in that dangerous area it's the age old question of like tough versus dumb. Like if you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
Yeah,
that's proven. But like there's a level of like endurance versus staying in a terrible situation. Like if you have the means to get out of a situation, or even like or something like that, but just to be proud of that, own it, that's fine. But like to be like, yeah, I did this, I grew up here, like, so
Yeah.
That has no, I don't. You bragging about that is crazy.
No, there's a weird.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, there's like a weird fetishization. Feta cheese does not taste good.
Yeah.
No, it's like
you're wrong.
Fetishizing.
Fetishizing is even more delicious than
fetish. That doesn't sound like a word either. Yeah, but no, it's
But yes,
the way that they like respond to that kind of. I remember too, like
it doesn't matter if they're authentically 12 killing each other. It's a problem that 12-year-olds are killing each other. Like, that's the thing to be. You shouldn't be proud of that.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. Like, I hear these like rap fans talk about it, and they just kind of talk about it like it's the thing, and I go like, dude, we should be spazzing about this like way more.
Yeah, the fact that it is real is bad because it's the same idea of like when a comic says a horrific joke or a premise that sounds terrible, but if they do it in a funny way, if that were real, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's like a thing where like. It's those are the clips they're going to go to when your Netflix documentary comes out to go like he's been saying it all along.
Yeah, no,
right in front of us.
Well, I was thinking about that with hip hop, where or rap more so, I guess, than hip hop, but like it reminds me of it's sort of like a microcosm of like the bigger thing, and I think like people who grew up with a tougher situation, it is almost like a defense mechanism where they do because they get like irritated by people who had more. And it's like I get the irritation too because a lot of people who grew up like having more, they may not realize what they're like they may not realize what they're sort of oblivious to. Yeah. But like but there's this thing that's been developed over time where it's this weird thing where it's like all of our parents tried to work hard to give us a better life, and then like what?
What did your parents? All of them?
Most of them. My fault. Most of them. But like generally speaking, there's a lot of parents like from our parents' generation. You work hard to give kids now a better life, and then a lot of these kids now they get the better life. And then they like feel self-conscious about it. Yeah. And it feels like this, because I definitely experienced that where I always told you I was at lunch one time in fucking high school and I was getting made fun of because I was the one kid who didn't have divorced parents.
Yeah.
And I've had that moment where they like, people find out, like I didn't grow up rich, but I grew up fine. And, I grew up comfy and shit like that. But it's like, and then people find stuff about that and then they use that as a way to be like dismissive and shit like that. But it's like, that's why I was like leading towards the thought. It's almost like they need to figure. It's like rappers need to figure out a way to get, be more accepting to people who are more well off. So
just to say like this, it's a thing of like you don't have to be traumatized to become a rapper or a musician or in any situation, but a lot of times they are better rappers. So I think. If there's somebody who was not coming from that place, they're also going to be like, well, like it's almost like when stand-up comics or open micers or anybody sees a really attractive comic.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a weird thing where like every art form I think has it where like I'm sure there's painters that are like, your dad didn't even fucking touch your dick, you loser. You know what I mean? Or what? Your parents weren't murdered in front of you, like Batman style? You fucking dipshit, and that's why you paint triangles into everything?
Well, you know what I think part of it has to do with the fact that a lot of rappers are... Because I was thinking about this because I was listening... I've been thinking about ever since the Super Bowl and people are talking about it more online. I was just we've been arguing about it more with people in real life. Yeah. I've just been thinking about, and I was listening to a podcast about him, but I was thinking about like Kendrick Lamar and shit. And I realized with Kendrick Lamar where like a lot of rappers become rappers because they're like, I'm trying to get out of the hood. Yeah. And this seems like the easiest way to get rich. It's like they probably like rap, but it's not this like passionate, artistic expression. So they're almost like approaching it like a wrestler or whatever. So they'll be like, hey, you know, you sand down the sides and maybe fluff this up a little bit. And it's like, it's nothing malicious. They're just trying to like play the game to get in it. And Kendrick Lamar's like an interesting case because he did come from the hood, but you notice the way he does his shit. If you listen to his albums, you watch his music videos and shit like that, he's, you know, it was for very like artistic reasons why he does any of his fucking shit. And I noticed, and I'm like, that's why rap is the way it is, because a lot of rap is such a specific thing. It's why when you see like a white dude come into rap, every fucking YouTuber needs to do a think piece on like, and you can't, like, people, because rap's so closely associated, like this, it's either this or gangbanging or maybe play basketball or play a sport or whatever. That's what gets you out of the fucking hood. So they so closely associate shit like that. But I saw you point your finger. You
know what it is? It's I think what rap needs to realize, and people, fans of rap, rappers, artists, everything needs to realize that rap is an art.
Yeah,
it is not a club. It's not a fucking gang. It's not tough. If you're thinking of fun rhyming words to explain how tough you are, you're an artist who was in a tough situation.
And the difference...
You're not a tough person who made that, because that's the other thing is go to New York City. Go to New York City, anyone doubting what we're saying, and talk to any of the wonderful street artists that are forcing you to buy their album as soon as they put it in your hand. Think about it. Listen to it and go, doesn't stand out. That person may have the most stereotypical, I grew up with cockroaches everywhere. We didn't have power. My mom sold crack. My dad died when I was young, whatever. You could have the stereotypical movie rap upbringing to say you and you got no talent.
Yeah. Like, well, that is actually
talent. You have to be an artist. And rappers, I want to let you know, you're all wonderful artists.
But dude,
Snoop Dogg, artist. 50 Cent, artist. Tupac, artist. Biggie, artist. Puffy, artist. Mace, artist.
I know which part you think's the art. I know. Yeah. Well, no, an interesting thing too.
The way he did.
An interesting the way he sprayed the baby oil on that baby at 3 a.m. in his chateau. Allegedly.
He might get up.
Whatever. I mean,
he's got that Luigi power.
I'm probably right. No, but you kind of touched at a thing I thought about forever ago. You see a lot of times with rappers, you're like, when you hear rappers talking hard, the better the music is, the less I believe them. Yeah. Because there are certain rappers, and I've come around to him, but like, actually no, I haven't come around to this guy. But like, if you listen to Chief Keef, his music's fine, and his flow is fine. And I hear that and I go, oh, he did this shit.
Yeah.
The same thing with
You're not Scarface. You know who the last Scarface was? Hitler.
And on top of it, what?
Not to sound like Bryce Mitchell or anything. That was the guy who did a lot of killing and was apparently a pretty good artist.
Okay, that took me a second. Yeah. I wasn't connecting the dots.
It's one of those things like, but everybody else sees Scarface and they're just like, I want to be that, but also I want to sing about it.
I want to rhyme.
I sell so much cocaine.
I want to rhyme my crimes.
Bang, bang, you're dead. You want to be a jet. You don't want to be a gangster. You want to be a jet.
Well,
you want to go, I'm so dangerous. Look out me. I wear a special color. Blue, 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 blue.
It connected in my head when I was watching this thing about Jeezy, who he was a real motherfucker. But there was a point. Jeezy. Yeah, I don't know.
Why would you do that?
Why?
Why would you make that? That's a dumb name. It's so close to Jizzy.
Never thought about it.
Like, ew.
I was wondering what your problem was. I was like, who gives a shit? And I'm
Jeezy?
Like, it's pretty close. Well, it was also young Jeezy at times. But regardless, I know you got jizz on the mind.
How young? Now I got Diddy on the mind. How young?
Well, I don't know.
I guess we're going to have to get some preteen oil.
To quote the great R. Kelly, age ain't nothing. No.
You got your passport?
I think it was Young Jeezy. It could have been Gucci Mane. No, I think it was Young Jeezy. His manager was like, hey, man, you got to stop actually doing the shit you're saying in the songs.
You're going to ruin your career.
Because he kept like getting almost arrested and shit like that. So like that's the other part, by the way, like just by the sheer fact of having a successful rap career, you don't have the time.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, it is so funny to not be I don't know if this is an offshoot. Look, I don't want to die. But if it happens, all right. Like, once you take that fear away, rappers become way less intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll fucking shoot you. Like, go ahead. What are you? You're still a pussy, Jeezy. You know what I mean? Like, it's still one of those things of like, it's
what do you got against Jeezy?
You're right. I just used that as an example. Young Cum, or who was another one that we were talking about? One of the 12-year-olds.
I don't remember any of their names.
One of the babies, a big baby, little baby, medium baby.
There actually is a guy named Lil Baby.
I know. That one. Not scared of you. Again, the more prolific you are as an artist, the less terrifying you are.
Yeah.
But those fucking psychos that are just running up and handing you a CD in New York City, that's a rapper I'm terrified of.
Yeah.
So like the more cred you get as an artist, the less tough I think you are. Even if you're overcompensating, then you're just a celebrity acting out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, even if you are Diddy Daddy, like fucking...
I don't want to help you.
Human trafficking or anything
Diddy
like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, whoever you may be, it's not scary.
That rap name goes hard. Diddy Daddy, the human trafficker.
Yeah. Diddy Daffy. It would be human traffic.
It would be DA, human trafficker,
human Daffy Traffy. But the better your art is, the less intimidated I am by you.
Well, that's also thinking about like the shit we're talking about with hip hop. It was actually the reason, because like I always kick myself in the ass for like not being consistent, because back in the day, this is called Drag the Lake now. It kind of used to be this podcast called The Dope Show, and I would do like daily reviews, and I was like really on top of it, and it was getting good traction. And then I hit a point where I started to realize that rap's more professional wrestling than wrestling is.
Yeah.
When I say that, I'm not just saying like, oh, it's not real, because that's rude to wrestling. Those dudes get fucking hurt. The CTE they get is fucking real.
I'm telling you right now.
And
Tupac definitely worked himself into a shoot.
But no, see that. But for real though,
yeah.
It's like a great analogy, because
yeah.
They're all playing a character to a degree. But if you play the character too much, if you work yourself into a shoot, you get shot.
You become Birdman on the fucking breakfast show. You better put respect on my name.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, are you crying?
But like I remember I got burnt out on hip hop because I realized how truly hip hop and rap and shit, how truly it is like professional wrestling and stuff like that.
They're
and it
divas.
gets exhausting, and it is, and because it hip hop and rap, or more so rap, exists in this weird dichotomy where it's like you have to be this person you couldn't facilitate being if you are a famous rapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so inherently in the process, it encourages. That's why it's like I always laugh when people get like so mad about rappers lying. I'm like, just by you guys not understanding what's happening, you're encouraging these guys to do shit like this. So it's like, hey, when a dude like Lil Dicky comes around and he does a rap about how he's insecure about
he had a rough day on his bar mitzvah.
Yeah, or whatever the fuck. It's like, let's not overthink that and realize if it was more, because this is the other difference I realized. Rap is so locked into like came up from the hood, living in like in the streets,
Yeah.
It's like it's about, a lot of rap is message, or what it's the rapper or the character, however you look at it, and a lot of the other stuff flows from that. I'm supposed to be a thug. I'm supposed to be a gangster. You make music that make me look fucking cool. It all's downstream from that. Yeah. A lot of music genres, though, like what we talk about all the time, like hardcore, or a lot of Spanish types of music, or a lot of pop music. The goal in that is get them dancing.
Yeah.
Get them moving. That's why R&B, like a lot of R&B music, it's like, yeah, we're just trying to make you guys horny.
That's why I never got the joke about it. This is so funny. It's kind of a thing I've thought about a long time. But like how if you watch like old documentaries of Frank Sinatra or something like that, and they're like, boy, you didn't mess with Frank. You better not piss Frank off. Oh man, Frank had a real temper. But I'm like, Frank Sinatra had a real reputation for being a tough guy who sang a lot about dancing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you ever talk to me about how intimidating Frank Sinatra would be, I would laugh in your fucking face. That drunk Italian guy that goes, I want to dance on the moon, baby. Well, boom, boom, I'm dancing. I'm floating on stars. You're like,
no, that actually...
Are you tough? Are you tough, friend?
Well, no, here's the thing, though, is like, Frank could have been tough. He had all those, like, mob connections.
His friends might have been tough. But like that's what I'm saying is like you
sure Frank
reputation. Yeah,
I hear what you're saying. Yes, Frank technically may not have been tough himself, but it's still true. You don't want to mess with Frank,
and it's
because actual tough guys are gonna. But even with the Frank example, it's like you don't like all like those genres are probably fucking safer to be in because you like don't have to. It's not character.
You can be the tough guy.
A lot of those genres aren't character driven.
Right.
You don't have to be that that tough guy person. Like people want to see Frank Sinatra because I guess Frank is to a degree was character driven or maybe it was probably more so just women were like he's attractive.
That to me that is a tortured artist or an actual person, something like where like when their art is them going like doobie doo, I'm so in love with the moon, baby, we're gonna swing on the stars, and then they go like I'm gonna smash this guy's hand because he beat me in a card game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like behind the scenes, and then you hide that. You don't sing about that. They're singing about smashing guys' hands at cards table, but they're going back and eating cereal at their house with the, you know what I mean? Like. Like it's the same, or they're drinking a lot of cough syrup so that they get all spinny headed or something. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things where the artists in the day. Like, think about something like even Walk the Line, the bio movie about
Johnny
Cash. Everybody's portrayed in that as like ripping pills.
He killed all those guys. Johnny Cash killed every single guy he talked about.
But I'm saying, no, even his actual behavior.
No, yeah.
He's singing about, like, oh, killed a guy. And even still, it's going,
killed a guy in prison.
I riding the train today that I went to there.
Killed a guy in prison, then hopped up on a train. Got off that train, killed another guy in jail.
Right. It's just like a thing of, like,
I'm a hobo.
What if you're singing about doing black pills and drinking, like literally dark black, what do they call them, black beauties or something like that in the thing? He would eat bags and bags of pills. That's compelling.
Forgot about that part.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like where it is thou protest too much. I know you're not a tough guy already because you're an artist who's singing about your toughness, but the fact that you're not even trying to hide. You're not hiding any of the tough parts. You're hiding all the pussy parts.
I will say this.
Be the pussy. Be like Aaron Carter. Sing about doing your homework and then get a face tattoo and then die like a man.
I will
be a man.
I will say this.
Aaron Carter has more street cred than Jeezy. There it is.
I don't know if that's true.
He's more dead than him.
He is more dead. He is more dead.
That's one for Aaron.
One for Aaron. Jeezy, catch up.
Bro, you better hurry up.
I'm just kidding. I don't want you to die,
don't
Jeezy.
Actually, yeah. Jeezy, what we want you to do is we want you to either start singing about positive stuff and keep the persona, if that is who you are, or get your life turned around, man.
Well, it is this thing where it's like,
Come on, Jeezy.
Come on, Jeezy. Start selling drugs again. Be who you really.
I don't even actually at this point. I don't even know what you're. Just be yourself, but like stop.
No. I'm not even like. I haven't gotten to a solution. I'm really having.
Wait, what are we advocating for?
Well, no, I'm having fun. I'm actually because like
calling out pussy musicians.
Yeah, I'm having fun being. Just calling rappers
provoking people.
Yeah, just that's the best way. That's the best thing to do in this business.
Right.
Is to call out rappers for being soft.
Right.
All of you.
All of you.
All of you.
All of you. Lil Dicky's ironically the hardest.
Well, no, I'm having fun thinking about this because like the like fakeness, and I say this as a big rap fan, big hip hop fan. I love guy. Just a big person.
Yeah.
I love all the music, but like there's just this layer of fakeness to all of it. But you brought up the other because that was the other realization where I was like, because I was realizing rap is so character driven. That's why when a white guy starts rapping, it kind of like fucks with people because in rap we're like the character is the poor black, usually male youth who grew up in the hood.
You have to have some struggle you overcame.
Has to fight for adversity. That's why so many rappers, their first album, I'm going to make it out the hood. Their next album, I made it out the hood. I'm a ball on all this shit. Third album is like, I'm so rich and still successful. And the fourth album...
What else is in the news?
Fourth album is like... Remember when I was in the hood?
Yeah.
You know, you see that...
Sometimes I look back and you're like, oh, it's a retrospective.
You see that...
So you only got 4, huh?
No, for real. There's a lot of rappers you see that progression. That's why dudes like Gucci Mane or like Migos, they kind of just are vague, like talking about doing pills and fucking bitches or smoking weed and shit like that. Oh, but no, because I didn't fully put it together until we started doing this podcast, but it is like rap is a very like character driven genre, and people don't even realize it, where other music genres have the benefit of it's more about, like, I'll be honest, like when I love the hardcore bands I love like Knock Loose, Kublai Khan, shit like that. I love them. Yeah. But at the same time, hardcore is more so like I just need a heavy fucking band to give me some breakdowns, some two-step parts, and some fast circle pit parts.
Yeah.
Because that's what the genre is broadly.
Yeah.
And if you're up there, like everyone always makes the joke, they'll show a picture of fucking Tobey Maguire playing Peter Parker, and they'll be like, if the guitarist of the band looks like this, you know you're about to hear the most brutal breakdowns of your life.
Right.
Because in a lot of those bands, it doesn't really matter what you fucking look like. It's more, is the music good? And in hip hop, it's like we've been there before where it's like, oh, the music is great. But this guy's not authentic, so it doesn't feel the same. And I go, I'm like realizing it now. That is a huge struggle of being a rapper. Is it's so much character driven, and you just kind of have to like become like. And I do think a lot of rappers, they come into this and they sort of lean into a heightened version of themselves.
Yeah,
it's still themselves, but it's the same way like Stone Cold was himself. Like his character, Stone Cold Steve Austin, is a heightened version of who Steve Austin actually is. And it is like, damn, it made me realize like being a rapper seems like the most stressful music genre to be in.
Well, if you unless you are somebody like, again, like Lil Dicky or something like that, where you're just
but then all the fans have been trained to want that.
Yeah.
Like what? Like it's not their fault, but we've just sort of trained ourselves to want that with our rappers.
I've said it so many times in the past. I
could eat.
I am drawn to white rappers because of the lack of the N-word, and I can sing along. So, like, honestly, I look for way different things in rap than I think most people do.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the upbringing necessarily. It's great and identifiable. You know, surprisingly, who gets me pumped up the most? I was gonna say hyped.
I'm gonna say piped up.
Hyped and pumped.
You know who comes over and pipes? Actually, this is why I'm mad at
Rock Hard.
This is why I don't like Jeezy. He comes over and pipes me up.
But this is also a fun thing too. The fact that like all of these prolific artists over the years, all these rappers and everything, not one of them gay. Weird.
Yeah, it's crazy how few rappers are gay.
None of them are gay.
And don't listen to that. There's that one. Actually, they're. Have you heard of Superhead? She's like,
yeah.
She's like famous for fucking all these rappers, and there's just a list online of it's like it's a whole list of rappers' dick sizes, how they fuck, and if they're actually like gay or not.
Yeah. So like that, it's a funny thing to say like that
Thank you, Superhead.
that you have the same but every other genre, like you can be whatever you want.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like this is the one where it's. I forgot the original point I was going to make aside from that, but oh yeah. So the one that gets me the most pumped is like somebody like Big Crit.
Big Crit rips.
Yeah. But can I necessarily identify with everything he's saying? No, not necessarily. But am I gonna pick myself up? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Well, I can sing the chorus. Ain't broke ass. Wait, no, I can't. Damn it.
What? Where are you? Are you in your car?
Yeah, here. But even in the
car. Here, wait. Let me mute your mic.
But no, I just at a certain point, I don't fucking care. Like, well, to me, I think the more you're the loudest dog is usually the smallest dog.
Well, no, I think a lot of times people misconstrue the term authenticity with, you have to really be from the streets. And I go, no. Who are you?
Yeah.
Because that's my thing. Like, a lot of times when I consume art, I go, I don't want it. That's what actually annoyed me so much about the critiques of Kendrick's halftime show. And I've said it before, by the way. I'm a Kendrick fan, but Kendrick fans overhype the fuck out of him. He's very good, but it's weird. He's great, but he's also overrated at the same time. No.
Taylor Swift.
What?
Like Taylor Swift.
See, I dislike more of, like, Taylor Swift's music's down here for me.
She's obviously talented. She has a lot of incredible hits that no matter what, if you go through, you'll find at least a couple that you're like, yeah, oh yeah, that's a good song.
No, I get what you're saying.
But
I hold Kendrick in higher regard, but it's the same logic. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Or even Beyonce's. Beyonce's the same way too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's very true, because once these artists who are very good, but they're not like epic good in my opinion, the audiences, it's that whole thing where they're like, hey, is that a personality? Once that starts forming via an artist, then people glob onto it more so and overdo it.
Yeah.
But the reason I was getting so annoyed with one of the biggest critiques I was hearing about the Kendrick performance was, I don't know half those songs. And I was just like, it's like, I mean, I get it. Like, if Kendrick was doing, I don't know. That just, like, annoys me, because every time I approach art, I approach it going, what do you got?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah.
Don't ask me what I want. What do you got?
Yeah, what art are you going to give me? Like, that's the thing. Is like,
yeah.
So that's why I don't like the preconceived notion with rap, where you just have to meet these requirements to be tough or whatever. Like,
that's why Lil Dicky's so interesting.
Because it's authentic. It is still talking about struggles you may have. And they're still relatable, but it doesn't have to be exclusively to one sect of people, whether it be race, economic class, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because, like I've said, at every comedy competition that I've lost, which is every one of them I've participated in.
Hey, me too, buddy.
Art is subjective. Not everything is for everyone. The people that watch this, whether you hate watching it or you love watching it or whatever it may be, we appreciate it. But it doesn't mean we're not putting this out here saying this is a thing that is everyone's going to enjoy.
Yeah.
We're putting it out there saying, here's for the people that enjoy this. That's what it is. Like, so it's the same idea of, like, if that's what art was truly being put out for, then I think it would get a lot more clarity, and there wouldn't be as much weird clout and gatekeeping it for such a stupid genre. That only really happens with like two genres, like country and rap, are two ones where they're just like, wait a minute, you can't do what we do.
Because
like,
rap,
no, it's art. Anybody can do it.
Country's a good point too, because it's like country has gotten to a point where you're like, no. You sing about your truck, your girl, going down to the creek, and they're like, yeah, dude, that's such a good point. Country has such a specific...
Update your fucking art form.
Dude, it's so funny. That's like, on the Big Red in the Morning channel, where I post, more of those clips are me talking about, like, the news or current events and shit. And I was talking about Trump's plan for Gaza, how... fucking vague he's being about it.
He's gonna name it the Gulf of America.
Well, no,
the America Strip.
Yeah,
fixed it. You're welcome.
Well, no, dude, they were like, I was watching the one press conference, or not press conference, whatever the fuck it was called. I was watching the one thing where they're interviewing Trump in the Oval Office. He's sitting next to the president of Jordan or whoever, and they're just like, so we're not gonna. He's like, so the United States is not gonna own. The United States is gonna own the land, and he's like, no, we're not gonna own the land. We will have it. And I go, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's not the same. We're gonna lease it.
And he kept doing that like 4 times in a row. And I talked about that. I clipped it up. I put it on Big Red in the Morning channel. And then someone comments to be like, hey, buddy, I like your stuff, but I could really use a lot less of those off-color jokes. And I just want to be like, hey, man, you might just not want to be here.
Yeah, that means you don't like it.
Well, because that's why because
that's what I do.
People hop into my. I've talked about this before. People hop into my stream and they'll be like, debate me right now. Yeah. And then I'll get annoyed and they'll be like, you're afraid to debate me. I go, no, you just came in and sucked so much ass. Yeah. This isn't like a space for us to be like yelling at each other. I treat my streams and even like a podcast is almost like I'm going like, yo, I got this cool ass party you guys might want to hang out at. There's going to be some people who show up and go, this party sucks. So just leave the party.
Right.
Maybe
that's art.
Yeah, and it's completely fair if you want to talk shit about the party, but like it's when you show up, it's talk shit about the party all you want. It's when you show up to the party and you go, I don't like the music here.
Yeah, this party shouldn't happen.
This party should have different music. If the party's bad because it's well, it's like no.
You gotta stop this party.
You could ask to change the music. We might not, but you could ask.
Yeah. And if we don't, then that means it's not the party for you.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And if you don't, I'm calling Young Jeezy, and he's going to get back into life.
Oh no, not him!
I'd love a timeline where you and Jeezy become best friends. And you're just in his arms.
Be you, man.
You're just in his arms, like, I'm sorry I said all that stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't realize you were such a tender
only
lover.
after he apologizes for being so violent.
Is that what it's about?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. Thanks for listening to Drag the Lake. Thanks for coming to our party.
Bye, Jizzy.
Bye, Jizzy.